ask me about my wiener.
Welcome to Black Irish Podcast. Welcome to an all-new episode of Black Irish Podcast with myself, Brendan McCorkle. And today we've got a third of the MSPH tripod, the betting aficionado himself from Outkick Bets, wearing blackface today, Geoff Clark. Welcome back.
What's up? Hope you guys aren't disappointed to see a non-black guy here.
You're wearing a black hat. You got some flavor. You're close enough. You can
I
have a temporary black card.
I just played basketball.
Perfect. How'd you do? Do you play like pickup games or you play like 21 shoot around shit at the gym or at the courts?
I go to LA Fitness and I'll just kind of do whatever's available. Hopefully I'm playing full court. We played like 3 or 4 full court games today, but I'll play some 21. I hate cardio, and like the only way I can do cardio like happily is to play basketball, essentially. So
for sure, I
did that, lift some weights, but I just love hooping. I did pretty good today. Hit a couple shots. I'm just playing with a couple knuckleheads, honestly, who didn't really get back on defense, but they were young kids and they could ball. They just didn't try. So that was frustrating. But
so they're watching the new NBA.
Yeah, exactly.
We shoot, and then we let them shoot, and then we shoot, and then we let them shoot.
They're super athletic, but they don't even go inside the 3-point arc. They're just doing like James Harden step backs.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. But I don't know.
It gets you up and down the court
every time. Yeah. I mean, my fat ass needs to run, so I got something out of it.
I dig it, dude. I love playing ball too. That's like, I hate cardio too. And I started going to the gym like kind of a little obsessively, but I like lifting weights because it's a little more fun, but cardio sucks, dude. So I'll get my heart going on the treadmill and then I'll get off as soon as my heart rate reaches a certain amount. And I'm like, I'm out of here. So basketball is for me too. We got a hoop that I'll wheel out to the street and just go run around and shoot layups for a half hour. And I'm like, dude, I'm exhausted. It's way better to go to the gym.
I mean, if you're playing basketball the right way and you're playing with a group of people, it's like an interval cardio. So like you're not really like you're not zoned out. Like you can pretty much zone out on the elliptical or like an exercise bike and just like go through the motions. Where if you're doing basketball the right way, you can't. So that's probably the best like workout aspect of it. But I'm with you, dude. I hate cardio. I heard somewhere that like cardio doesn't matter until you get like 17 minutes through it.
Right.
Like the first like 15 minutes of cardio is like nothing. It's just like your body like getting used to cardio.
Yeah, it's 15 to 20 minutes depending on like the speed you're going, whether it be on a machine or even just like walking, jogging, running. Like the slower you go, the longer you have to do it to break that internal cardio sweat that everybody talks about. So I'm just like literally I'll go to like 4.3 or 4.4 on the treadmill and I'll just like watch a Rocky movie at the gym because they have this awesome cardio room and they usually have Rocky on or something like that. And I'll just go and it like as soon as I feel myself like beating up a little bit, I shut it off and I go lift weights. I'm like, I don't want to be here one more second than I have to be. It's boring in here.
I got a lot of fat to cut, so I need to hit the cardio. But it sucks. And supposedly the best way to burn fat is to lift weights. So I just got to be more active with working out, less sitting on my ass and watching all the sports that I gamble on.
I have come to figure out that working out, exercising is the same as religion. Different things work for different people. As long as it works for you, just do it. Or don't. I don't really care. But it's like, because I like in trying to get in, I just decided, because I don't really have goals. I'm just like, I don't want to be a fat piece of shit like I kind of used to be, so I lost a bunch of weight and then I'm like, well, what do I do now? So I'm like, okay, try and be like those guys in Vikings. And I'm like, oh, that was a stupid thing to say out loud. But I'm like, okay, fine. See what that would take. So then I started like looking up little videos, which I hate doing. I hate watching other people tell me what to do. It's one of the most annoying things in the world.
You don't like tutorials?
I hate them.
Yeah,
I don't
me
use
too,
recipes, like anything. I'm like, I'll look at the book and go, what are the ingredients? I'll figure it out. Like, I don't know. I don't like people telling me what to do.
Dude, I'll read through like the first 2 steps of a recipe and I'm like, oh, this is boring. And I'll just kind of like roll my eyes and like be done with it.
Yep. That's why I don't like baking. I know everybody's like, baking is so precise. It's like, yeah, but they told you what to do. It's like, come on. It's connecting the dots. I don't want to connect the dots. I want to create something.
And I think that's bullshit anyways, because I've followed baking recipes and it didn't come out well. It's like, wait a second. And I know my mom like yada yada's baking recipes and we'll just like, yeah, you know, you just throw a pinch in here, a pinch in there, and it comes out good. And it's like, yeah, that's how it works for you, Mom. But for me,
yeah,
it comes out like a fucking mess.
Well, it's just like anything else, even like ballin', you know, it's just like the more you do it, the more comfortable you are with your spots. You know, it's like, I know I've got this 8-footer from off the side over here. It's like, bam, that's my spot. It's like, oh, cookies? Yeah, it's a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar. And like, it's kind of like you can eyeball it and you know what's going on. Because I'm kind of that way with cooking. Like, if I see something going, like if something's getting too salty, I know how to adjust it. If it's not, you know, like all those things, but it's just doing it over and over and over. And I don't want to take the time to learn how to bake. Just don't.
I hear you. I had a passion for like seriously like 3 days to bake like the best cookies ever. And I baked one batch and they were terrible. And I just immediately threw in the towel. Like just terrible. It's a weak gumption. I gotta have more stick-to-itiveness, but I don't know. I feel like baking like an elite batch of cookies is a reasonable goal to have.
And 100%.
Unattainable.
Honestly, that's something that I would love to know how to do, to just have like the raw ingredients, not like cookie dough, but like the raw ingredients for like amazing like macadamia nut cookies or like a chocolate chip cookie or something like that. And just have people over and just be like, oh, you guys want some cookies? And then just like bang. And it's like, just oh shit. Like that's the only reason. The only reason why I want to play a piano is so that if we're randomly out somewhere and there's a piano, I can just sit down and start playing like Jerry Lee Lewis or some shit and be like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Just for fun. I don't want to actually be good at it. I just want to be good enough to do silly shit with it. Like
your Goose or Rooster?
Oh, 100%. Well, no, not really though, because that doesn't end well. But
well, yeah. I mean, Rooster's still ticking, but yeah, Goose had
Goose got to bone Meg Ryan.
Pretty sick, but I don't think it's worth like Meg Ryan's elite.
Okay, hang on though. Hang on. Now we're not even on topic yet, and I love what we're talking about. Tell me,
it says intro. I think we're still on.
Tell me that Goose didn't go out as good as you can. He had the wife who was hot. You had the kid, which sucks. Could play a ripping piano. Slugging beers, his best buddy is Top Dog, and he goes out in a blaze of glory. That wasn't his fault. I mean, if you are going to go, it's better than Evel Knievel jumping the Grand Canyon a 1,000 times and then not dying in a stunt. It's like, it's awful. So at least Goose went out the right way.
So you think like Evel Knievel has like a Lieutenant Dan perspective where he wanted to die in the battlefield?
1,000%.
I mean, he's dead, right?
Yeah,
I think he still do that.
No, he died like just from like cancer or something, like heart failure, like something awful.
See, he missed an opportunity.
Yeah.
As soon as he was diagnosed with terminal cancer, he should have been like,
yourself.
I'm jumping the Grand Canyon. I'm jumping it right now.
On a BMX bike. Like, I'm not even trying, guys. Gone.
But they go through the process of building him like a 200-foot ramp.
Oh, yeah. 200-foot ramp. They got like 3 ladies at the end of it because that's the only thing he could clear at this point. Like, oh, dude. Hilarious. Hilarious. That's the way to go.
I don't know. My thing with Goose and the epicness of his death or lack thereof, in my opinion, is he fucking died in the equipment in an equipment malfunction, right?
Yeah.
Like, didn't they pull the ejection seat and then the thing didn't?
I mean, technically, he got like hit by a windshield in the air and died. Like, he hit his head on the window, and that's what killed him. Not heroic.
Yeah,
that's true.
It would have been if you went down.
Had they not had cameras around and it was just a crash, now that would have been a finish. But
like
they got it on tape.
He went out like Randy Quaid in Independence Day, where he took down,
yes.
He took down like he kamikazed into 2 Russian fucking planes and just knocked them both out of the sky. And
see, I think we just fixed the Top Gun thing. The Top Gun, the only part of the movie, I mean, it was necessary for Goose to die, but in such a weirdly shit way. If they did something where they had 2 hatches and Tom Cruise's went and his didn't, and he was stuck and he was like, fuck it, takes over the controls and just flies it into another plane, that would have been bitching.
So I'm a little confused by that, in the sense that could Goose not fly a plane? Like, if he can just get in the captain's seat or the whatever, I don't know the term, but like if he was in the cockpit, couldn't he just land it?
Well, no, because the thing was going out of control, was spinning out of control. I mean, we're rewriting a classic movie here, but it's just to get Goose a little more elevated on the wanker scale, because he did die kind of in a wankerish way. That sucks.
And it doesn't have to make like scientific sense. I mean, my favorite movie ever, Armageddon. I mean, there's some probably scientific holes you can poke into that story. I'm not going to poke those holes.
I'm not a scientist, so I'm only going to poke holes in reality, not movies that make me happy. I mean, we just kind of did that with Top Gun a little bit, but that was more trying to get Goose in an elevated position.
Yeah, we're just trying to make his death cooler. I don't think we're
trying to turn the Goose into a swan. It didn't happen. That's fine. Top Gun is fine as is. So is Top Gun Maverick. Back to back.
I would argue that was better.
I am on the fence about that, which is a good argument. That just means that was how incredible Maverick was. I think they did the things where they fixed, like they tweaked the things that kind of didn't work in the first one, and they threw in all the silly nostalgia stuff that you still wanted. But the fact that, like, my biggest thing with Maverick that I was so impressed with is in the first 10 minutes, they gave you a comfort blanket of nostalgia. They're like, we're going to bang out like 3 things right away, so we got you covered, and you can sit back and relax. And it was like, oh, thank you for doing that. Thank you for not making me wait for all this shit. And they did it beautifully. So I might be leaning towards Maverick as better, honestly. But you could put either one on, and I'm in.
First fucking scene, they come out with Kenny Loggins. Just like, beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah, it got my balls tingling right away, and I'm like, oh, yeah. I can hear the engines.
I think what makes Top Gun Maverick clearly the better movie is just how, like, badass the aerial action was.
Yeah. Well, it's just all the new cameras and drones and things that they can do nowadays and get multiple angles on the same thing and all these. It was rad. It was rad. It was like they literally made the perfect sequel.
Yeah, it's kind of like
it's Bad Boys 2 in the air, man. They made the perfect sequel.
Well said. Yeah, it's you don't want to hold Top Gun's like lack of technology against it, right? It's almost like comparing basketball eras, like saying like Bob Cousy couldn't play in today's NBA, or like judging like saying like John Morant would just crush Bob Cousy, which of course he would, but I mean it's not fair, right?
Yeah.
Bob Cousy had worse cameras.
Yeah, it's like comparing the Nintendo NES system to PlayStation 5 or whatever. It's like, listen, at the time, that was the best you got. It was better than anything else. Let it be that, and then now it's better than anything else today in a different way. You
can't tell me pound for pound there's a greater game than GoldenEye, and I don't give a fuck about graphics, like anything like that. It doesn't matter.
I literally could play GoldenEye today if it was in my house. Like, easily.
Do you think you'd be as good?
Definitely not, because I was the guy that people were like Call of Duty before Call of Duty. That was me in GoldenEye, where people are like, I don't want to play with you anymore because you just like, you know, all the spots. I don't want to play proximity mines with you anymore. It's like, oh, come on, you bunch of bitches. Like,
You probably used Odd Job like a fucking pussy, didn't you?
I did not like Odd Job, and especially in the temple where they had the short doors that only he could go through and stuff like that. Like, I wasn't about that. Anybody that was Odd Job, I immediately made sure that they didn't have fun playing the game.
My favorite level was Complex, I think.
Complex.
If you remember that one?
Oh, it's been so long. Now I want to play GoldenEye.
One of my buddies in college won the GoldenEye tournament in his college.
Oh, yeah. I was nowhere near that level. I was just the best on my block. And it was only because it was my game. So I got to play it more than anybody else. That was the only reason why.
One of my homies literally won the fucking Yukon GoldenEye tournament.
Dude, that's insane. Like, at the time, that must have been like the most prestigious award. They're like, Nobel Peace Prize. Get the fuck out of here. This guy won the GoldenEye tournament.
Dude, this guy was just crushing chicks on the strength of a GoldenEye tournament championship.
Oh, I love it.
Putting up bigger numbers in the basketball team, probably.
I love it. Well, moving on from imaginary murking people to people I would actually like to wipe off this earth a little bit.
Give it to me.
My son goes to LAUSD, and LAUSD schools have been closed. We're in the middle of a closure, a 3-day closure. And it was for like the secondary workers of the school, like the cafeteria workers, the custodial staff, bus drivers. And so in quote unquote solidarity, the teachers also went on strike, which basically just means they didn't want to work for 3 days because they could have operated without these other things, which is fine. That part, okay. If you guys want to join a protest, go ahead. The problem I have with this
is it done or is it still?
So we're recording this on Wednesday. It's closed Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we've got one more day of this. So they open school on Monday. They'll reopen it on Friday. It's just like we just want to let you know we're not happy. It's like, okay. So basically you're taking 3 days off, and if we don't pay you, you're just still coming back Friday. It's like not the best plan. But I also live across the street from an elementary school. And so it's been very funny to me because they're all a bunch of bitches. It's been raining here in Southern California more than it has usually. So these fuckers get up and they have their bullhorns or whatever come school time right about 7:30 in the morning trying to get honks and stuff across the street from me. And I'm like, okay, all right, go ahead and do your thing. I drive by, I don't wave to them, I don't do anything like that. They're like, come on, come on. No, screw you. You guys are ruining my morning.
They're outside with like picket signs.
Walking back and forth in front of the school.
What are they saying?
Oh, the dumbest shit ever. Something to the effect of...
did it ever rhyme?
It did, but the problem was it wasn't for what they wanted. It was just like, be treated fair. We want our share. And it's like, okay. But that's cool. That's all you got? And it's like, what?
It's pretty easy. That's two objections, two demands.
Yeah, but they're not saying what they really want. They're just saying they're not being treated fair, which fine. That's the perfect part of the protest. The part that I don't appreciate is that they're not committed. As soon as it starts raining, they leave. And then as soon as it stops raining, some of them come back. So they'll be out there for 30 minutes in the morning, leave for 45, come back for 15 minutes, and then leave again for the rest of the day. And if it stops raining, they just don't come back. They are not committed whatsoever. They just wanted a few days off of school.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment considering they're only taking 3 days off. And to me, like, a strike isn't effective unless like you're not coming back until your demands are met. Like
they still have the people who run the office, like the administrative assistants and stuff. Like they stand outside of the office and watch these people in the morning and then go back into the school. So I'm like, there are people crossing their line that they still work with that they're like, hey, Patricia. Like, there's no hostility. Like, it's great. But I remember when they had like the supermarket strike, and it was like, if you went to go to the store, let alone try and get a job there, they're like banging on your car and like, dude, don't go in this driveway, like trying to block the driveways and stuff. I definitely bumped a couple people with my car trying to go to the store when that happened.
That's kind of gnarly. How long ago was this? I don't remember this.
Oh, you were probably not in California. This was probably about 10 or 12 years ago.
It didn't affect Trader
longer
Joe's,
than
did it? Or is it just like a Ralph's thing or Vaughn's?
No, it was like all of the supermarkets that weren't like a Trader Joe's or like a Whole Foods or things like that. It was like Albertsons, Stater Brothers, Ralph's, like all the major chains, nationwide chains. Everybody was like, the baggers and cashiers were like, nah. And like would block the driveway to the shopping centers. And I'm like, hey, you guys are not supposed to be here. I'm still going.
So do you have children that are out of school right now because of the strike?
Yeah.
Is there any?
Yeah, my oldest is doing his schoolwork from home while the school's closed. So I have a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old. The 4-year-old still goes to his preschool, and the 9-year-old's home with me.
So are you pissed off that the kid is hanging out at home?
No, not at all. I love having him at home. It's great for me. It doesn't bother me. It's just the lack of commitment in the protesters. And the fact that they're just like in front of my house only at the annoying part of the morning when I'm trying to get my kids ready for the day. And also they're kind of trying to sleep a little bit. And then now you're waking them up. That kind of bothers me. Like,
wait, what time are we talking? How early are they out there?
Like 7:15, 7:30.
Pretty impressive.
Well, I mean, that's when they're supposed to go to work anyway. So they just show up to work, but don't go inside for 30 minutes. And then some of them come back if it's not raining, like an hour later.
I do like that they're looking out for the custodians, the bus drivers, the cafeteria workers, the people that were probably, like, everyone likes teachers in the sense that like everyone agrees that teachers are underpaid. And anytime there's a teacher strike, it feels like the media and like just people are behind the teachers, but no one gives a fuck about bus drivers. And no one gives a fuck about the lunch ladies. And I like that the teachers even wrote out for them. So, and if you're protesting the LA government, I am 100% in support of that because the LA government is an absolute fucking train wreck. And those idiots need to be protested about a bunch of things, including apparently how they're paying or treating cafeteria workers. And getting back to something you said earlier, it's pretty like we know their demands. Like they might fluff it up a little bit, but you want more pay. Right?
Yeah, that's it.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, they want their benefits to be more equivalent to like the teachers and stuff because they're working in the school, which, okay, dude, I'm all for it.
It's a simple thing. It's like the whole Aaron Rodgers thing when he bitched at Green Bay last year. He's like, I just want to be included. I just want my opinion to be asked. And then when did he stop bitching? When he signed a 3-year, $150 million contract. He's like, all right, well, this is cool.
Yeah.
And well, now he's bitching again, but you hear what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
It's just money. You just want more money.
That's all it is. And if it's there, give it to him. I got no problem with that.
That's the thing. It's probably not there in the sense that LA, they collect the money and then they just light it on fire.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It might not, I think it's the state of California, but supposedly the state of California spends $70,000 per year per homeless person. Where does that fucking money go?
It goes to all the politicians making sure the homeless people stay away from their homes.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. So, I mean,
that's $70,000. You know how many bus tickets 70 grand gets? Because all they're doing is every state's just trying to ship all the homeless people to other people's states, and they just haven't figured out the right system yet to get them away. Like, because I know that they were doing that in Texas. They're just putting people on buses and be like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, the Florida governor just shipped off migrants to fucking to Massachusetts, which I'm not Republican. I write and work for Republicans, but like that was a Republican move. That was like that's pretty funny. Kind of like that.
Well, Republicans are usually white, and so are we, and we're both. I don't know. I can't tell if you're Irish or not because you fucking hate on it so much. But I did want to just recap since we had St. Paddy's Day last week. What did you do for St. Paddy's Day?
I got fucking hammered. I got hammered. So when my buddies hit me up, all dads, all grown up professional guys that don't get out of the house much, like, yo, we're going out. Our wives gave us the thumbs up.
Yeah.
So we met at the bar, Legends in Long Beach, and we're all basketball fans. So we got to watch March Madness, slam booze, ended up going to the strip club, and I spent far too much money, like an embarrassing amount. I'm not going to say it, but let me just put it to you this way. This is the worst part of it too. I went to the ATM 5 different times.
No!
5.
Oh,
and the
no.
ATM charge is $6. And so I racked up $30 worth of ATM charges.
Oh.
Like, I should have just taken out the money in one shot, but I just kept going back.
Because you believe in yourself. I get it. Trust me. I get it.
It's not because I believe in myself.
No, you believe in yourself. When you go to the ATM, you're like, this is it. That you believe that you believe in yourself. And then the longer you stay there, it's like, you got to pay to play.
It's been maybe 15 years. Wait, no, I'm 36. It's been at least 12 years since I fell in love with a stripper. And it was a good feeling again. It was a good feeling.
See, okay.
But I actually fell in love with 2 strippers. So.
Even better. See, that makes it a little more worth it because I can see the smile on your face. It's still here. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Great. Yeah, it was wonderful. Wonderful lap dances by both the ladies. I was very impressed. I felt like for the most part, it was a pretty fair transaction, but I got after it harder on St. Paddy's Day than I have in a long time, probably since college.
Wow.
Again, I like to shit on the Irish people, whatever, talk shit about. And I always kind of thought St. Patrick's Day was a little overrated, but that might have been like one of those things where the grass is greener type thing. Like I just took advantage of it. I went to school in Queens, New York, St. John's University. So like we had St. Paddy's Day, the parade, and like people are getting after it in New York City, right? And then you have like the tournament and like the college basketball tournament. So like now that I'm older and I'm like thinking back on those days, it's like, you know what? That was probably the best time of my life, if I'm being honest. Like St. Paddy's Day.
Dude, when March Madness and St. Paddy's Day line up on like the Thursday, Friday, it's the greatest because the bars are already open early for Madness. They're already open early for St. Paddy's Day. Everybody's there to have a good time. And it's just bananas. Just bananas.
When I was in college, dude, we would do fucking kegs and eggs at 7 a.m. at a local bar.
Yeah.
And like you have to open up kind of that early out here because, well, if it coincides with college basketball, because, I think the first college basketball game in the round of 64 out here is like 8:30, 9 o'clock. So they got to kind of get it open early. Those guys in New York City, they're just like, it's just debauchery. It's like, no, we're going now.
It's like, we're going to be St. Paddy's Day drunk by the time basketball starts.
Yeah, for sure, dude. So I actually had a pretty killer St. Paddy's Day, which is rare. And it all happened like spur of the moment. Like I finished my work. I had like a PM editorial call. And right when I got done with the call, I got a message from my buddy like, yo, we're going out drinking, you down? And I was like, yeah, I got nothing else to do. Yes, I'm down. Let's do it.
That's always when it ends up the best is when it's least expected and you're like, okay, let's go see what's going on. You're like, oh shit, never mind. This is going to be fun. And you just soak it up.
Yeah, like if they hit me up like the previous week, like, yo, let's go out for St. Paddy's Day, I probably would have been a little bit of a bitch about it. I would have ended up going, but it just was perfect. It was organic and I had a great time. And I was like, I was hung over. Like I was an old school drunk. I didn't puke, but it was just like I don't remember getting home. Like I don't really. There was a lot of the night I don't remember, but
yeah, you
remember
just
the
when you
strippers,
steady
which is
throughout the
good.
day, your brain's gonna tail off towards towards the latter part of the evening. That's just how it works.
Yeah, it gets a little spacey in certain moments, but
And if
it
there's
was
no
fun. What did you?
puking, that is all, unfortunately, it usually makes the hangover worse, but it makes the night better to where you look back and you
For
go,
sure.
maybe I don't remember everything, but I remember not having a bad moment. That's good.
Right. Puking is embarrassing. I do it far too often. I hate myself for it. So I'm happy I didn't puke. But to your point, yeah, I had a very, very vicious hangover. It was ugly.
At least it
But
was on a Saturday with college basketball where you could recover for 48 hours. Unless you
was
had,
it? Oh yeah, yeah, like the day after was
yeah.
Saturday. Yeah, you're right. What did you do for St. Patty's Day?
So I actually quit drinking about 2.5 years ago. And
Oh,
so
well, this is getting gay.
last year, well, here's the thing. I
Did you
have
beat your
all the
kid?
stories. I've
Didn't get
tried
real
it when I
ugly,
was
did it?
younger. But basically, what I decided to do last year was I went to a bar in the morning and I just bought around for the bar. That was me like enjoying my St. Patty's Day. Like, I don't want to drink with you guys, but I kind of want to hang with you guys while you're drinking. Let me buy you around. So I bought the bar around. That was a lot of fun. So I went and did that again this year. Same bar, same
Like you're
bartenders.
fucking like you're Maverick in San Diego.
Something like that. So I went there because they opened up at 8. They usually open at 10. And this just happens to be a spot that I started to do comedy at. They started doing comedy there on Sunday nights. So it's kind of like one of my home away from homes anyway. So I'm like, I got to go back and just do it again. So the bartenders remember me. They're like, oh, you here to do it again? I was like, yep, no problem. So waited, just watched basketball for a little while, had some shepherd's pie, chilling, talking, got high in the parking lot, still do all my other shit. And then it was like, all right, there's enough people here. Let's buy around. So we did that. It was a lot of fun. Like I left after the first set of games. So I probably left at like noon, 12:30, something like that. And then I came home and I just started cooking and we kind of had like an impromptu on St. Patty's Day and Christmas Eve. Those are kind of like my two holidays. I have an open door policy at my house. It's like, if we're friendly and you don't have anywhere to go, come be with us. Come have fun, come be loved, whatever. Let's just fuck around. So I didn't think anybody was coming over. And then at the last minute, it was like 2 or 3 families were coming over and it was like, oh shit, okay. I was already cooking corned beef and cabbage and whatever. And one of our friends that came over is Catholic, practicing Catholic. And so for Lent, they're not eating meat on Fridays.
Mm.
And I don't know if you know this, but turns out the Pope, this is why I love Catholicism, because they're just so loosey-goosey. They're like, well, we get it. So the Pope declared that on Friday, St. Patrick's Day, if you want to eat specifically corned beef, no problem.
Yeah.
Break your Lent, eat some corned beef, and then get right back to it.
I think if we power rank all the religions, Catholicism would be at the top.
I mean, they're kind of the worst and the best for all the same reasons. They're very loosey-goosey with the rules.
Yeah. They'll frankly break some rules and some rules that shouldn't be broken.
Well, it's like the guy that you want to party with. You're like, I know we're going to be in trouble and this is going to be dangerous, but it also might be the most fun. Let's give it a go.
That's true, but then it's like, well, let's hang out with these little kids.
They
Like,
also might get butt fucked. That's not cool.
Wait a second. Let's not involve children, Father Harrington.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that was fun. Honestly, the best part of the corned beef and cabbage was the next day I made a homemade corned beef hash with the potatoes that were in the corned beef and cabbage and the chopped up cabbage and with like a fried egg on top. It was just,
Damn, so you can cook pretty good, huh?
I like to think so. I really enjoy making people happy, whether it be by making them laugh or making them feel good with some music or some food. So it's easy because I'm passionate about it. I honestly didn't know how to cook, until I moved into an apartment with 3 girls. And, well, I was...
Wait a second.
It's a
Let's unpack that for
long
a second.
story. So I got a DUI in 2007 after watching Game 3 of the World Series where the Diamondbacks ended up winning.
Wait, this is
2007. 2007. So 16 years ago, I got a DUI. Like a year later...
Wait, the Diamondbacks are in the World Series 2007?
Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling, Luis Gonzalez hits the single.
No, what? That's 2001. You crazy motherfucker. Are you that old?
I'm pretty old. I'm 2 years older than you.
I mean, you would have to really be getting after it, though. Because, I mean, that was 2001, so I was
okay,
15.
so then
you
2007, whatever it was. Or maybe the Diamondbacks were in the World Series and didn't win.
I don't think so.
I don't know either, damn it. Either way, it was 2007 was the Dewey.
I got to look up.
You can look it up while I...
confident it's World Series related?
Yeah, so...
All right, let's see who played in the 2007 World Series.
Who was it?
There's Red Sox Rockies. So NL West team.
I don't know. Maybe that was it.
It's a 4-game sweep. Josh Beckett.
Maybe I was so drunk that it didn't matter. But it wasn't so drunk. I had a couple, like, I literally probably had a pitcher and a half of beer over the course of a baseball game. Drove home, hung out, went to go back to work in the morning at like 3 in the morning because that was my schedule. Pulled over on the side of the road to take a nap because I was like, dude, I'm too exhausted. And that's how I got my Dewey. I was pulled over on the side of the freeway because I wasn't driving. Cops came up behind me to check the car, and they're like, oh, you've been drinking. DUI. I was like, thanks, guys. I wasn't driving. So that's how that happened.
That's pretty much the worst way to get a DUI.
It was really bad.
My buddy passed out in a Wendy's drive-thru.
I did that at Carl's Jr., and then realized that but I had to wait. There's like 6 cars in front of me. I had the standard order where I would get like 5 famous stars and 5 spicy chicken sandwiches from Carl's Jr. And then I would go home. They called me the Hamburglar where I lived because I would just wake up with cheeseburgers on me. And
the chicks. This is when you
no, this is
chicks?
when I was doing the DUI thing. So then fast forward months to a year later, I get pulled over for driving this really fast Mustang with tinted windows, all this bullshit, whatever. My car gets impounded. My current wife was living near my job. And so I was like, hey, can I crash on your couch? Because we were great friends all through high school and stuff. I'm like, hey, can I crash on your couch for a little while till I get this thing figured out? She lived with 2 other girls. And they're like, yeah, she cleared it with them. Everything's fine. No big deal. How can I help out? Like, I didn't have money to give necessarily. I contributed to the house a little bit, but it was just like, what do I do? And I didn't know how to cook. I'd never cooked before in my life. And I was like, you got to do something to like show your appreciation. So I just started cooking.
In the kitchen.
I started cooking in this little apartment, and that's where I just never stopped.
See, I would have expected the women to cook for me.
Yeah, they did spaghetti and tacos. That was their thing. They were girls that were just out of college. They were doing spaghetti and tacos, and I was like, okay, let me see if I can help with it. Let me make a little chicken parmesan or something maybe. Instead of just regular spaghetti, let's put a little chicken to it.
Where was this? Where were you living?
Granada Hills.
Okay.
So the Valley.
California chicks right out of college. If this is 2023, one of them would be an OnlyFans creator.
Probably.
I tweeted this out the other day. This is a tangent, but I tweeted this out the other day. And just randomly, if I'm like in a Whole Foods or if I'm in like a place that's kind of crowded and there's a bunch of hot chicks, for whatever reason, it's actually usually a Whole Foods, right? I'm thinking like, how many of these girls are OnlyFans content creators? Like
what's the average?
There's a lot of OnlyFans content creators out there. And I wonder how many of them I've met without my knowledge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think I'd assume there's some that are just doing it on the low. Like they all have, it's like strippers, right? They all have like stripper names, OnlyFans names.
Yeah,
I think very few of them use their real name.
And OnlyFans, like, you don't have to put your face on the camera.
No.
I mean, it's... Listen,
I'll pay extra.
I've contemplated doing OnlyFans without my face. And I know it's only dudes that are going to be jerking to me, but if I need to make some money, what do I care?
Well, that's a slippery slope, but I hear what you're saying.
I don't know.
Wait.
I'm going to seriously think about it, though.
Yikes. So are you doing OnlyFans with girls or by yourself?
No, just by myself. I'm not trying to get anybody involved in this nonsense.
So it's like when Boogie Nights gets like dark, so you're jerking off.
Yeah. What do I care?
Buy me a cup of coffee. Give me $10.
Yeah. Dude, do you know how many old dudes would give me $5 to watch me jerk off for 10 minutes? Probably at least 6 a day. That's not bad.
$60 a day to jerk off.
No, that'd be $30, I think. But here's the thing. The part that I don't understand, here's the part that is the caveat to why there's a big roadblock on this for me. I don't want to promote it.
You need to have good marketing.
I know, but that's the problem, is that I can't be conspicuous and have good marketing.
But do you?
Unless
I don't get how that works. Unless like
my dick had an alter ego. Because do you have a name for your dick?
No.
Oh, you said that like it was offensive.
I didn't mean to come off with that tone, especially because one of my favorite movies ever is The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, which is an Andrew Dice Clay movie from like the early 90s, late 80s. I don't know how much it holds up. I talked about this in my recent MSPH podcast. I do hang on to like the movies that I grew up with and just like them as much as an adult.
100%.
When Andrew Dice Clay in that movie called his dick Stanley. And I always thought that was hilarious. But I haven't named my penis.
Fair.
So I feel like you have to have like a big one, right? Because I don't have a big one, so I don't think it deserves a name.
The name for my junk is Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters.
That's a long. Do you just shorten it to Cap?
No, Captain Geach is the captain. The Shrimp Shack Shooters are my balls.
That's what I'm saying, though. If you're referring to it like in passing or in conversation,
Captain Geach or Geach if it's casual.
And the Shrimp Shack Shooters.
That's that thing you do reference.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Where do they use that line?
It's the band where they're in the music video and they're like, "Today we're not the Oneaters, we're Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters." They're filming like a marketing thing.
Steve Zahn or whatever, who's the bass player, I think.
Yeah,
that is a fucking underrated movie. I love that movie.
That movie is a banger. I love that.
Absolutely.
Flick.
It's on HBO Max, I think. I'm gonna throw it on before I go to bed.
Dude, HBO Max and Apple TV Plus are the two best streaming services right now, in my opinion. How would you feel about that?
I don't know how to power rank them. I go HBO Max number one over everything because their original programming is just fucking legendary. I don't have Disney Plus.
It's okay.
But Disney Plus, it's pretty strong if you're a Disney fan. I like good old Netflix. I have Paramount Plus. Like I forgot that I signed up for them. I just saw they charged my card like last week, but like it's almost worth it for the South Park specials.
Yeah, originally I got Paramount Plus for Beavis and Butthead, and then it was like I just forgot. And then
I think new Beavis and Butthead episodes are coming out on Paramount Plus.
I believe I saw that too, or they released like a few. There's something going on with Beavis and Butthead, but it came back on my radar recently.
I am spacing out about why I kept Paramount Plus, but there is something cool coming on Paramount Plus. I kept my money, and it's $5 a month. Like, I spent like I buy a cup of coffee at this local spot, probably too much, like 4 or 5 times a week. So like with a tip, it's like $5.50. So it's like whatever. I'll fucking keep the Paramount Plus, like whatever.
Yeah.
It's a fucking cup of coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
So I get
Speaking of which, Mad Scientist Party Hour Patreon is also a cup of coffee or two. Sign up for that for a ton of great content. They bang behind that paywall. So do yourself a favor. Check them out.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we've been going strong. I don't know how many years we've been doing it, but the co-host of the podcast, really the main host of the podcast, went on a vacation to Tokyo. So me and the other guy, Shuddy Boy, held down the fort, and we did a Patreon, for our paid subscribers. And I think it was Patreon 287.
Nice.
So once a week, that's probably over 5 years we've been doing it and going strong. So I appreciate the shout out though. Yeah.
Of course.
Patreon.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. I believe. I think that's, I don't know.
It's close enough.
Close.
If you
Yeah,
get
Google
3/4 of the way there and not all the way there, that's a user error.
Really, all you have to do, we all use Google Chrome. Are you a Google Chrome guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
On my
Yeah,
phone,
I'm not
on my
convinced.
phone, I use Safari a lot, but on my computer,
Fair
I
enough.
use Google Chrome.
So we just type in the search browser Mad Scientist Party Hour Patreon. It's gonna get you there.
You'll get there.
You'll get there. Appreciate the shout out. I'm sweating the Raptors right now. -9. I laid 9 with these fucking Canucks, and they're probably not gonna get there.
Yeah, I did not like any of the spreads today. There was like 9s, 13s, 1.5s, and I'm like, give me that good old 3 to 5 sweet spot, and I'll make my picks. But when the NBA these days, when the players are day to day, almost every day, it's so hard to bet those big coverages, those 9, 10, double digit. The thing that's really, really thrown me for a loop this season in the NBA is how teams can be up double digits at halftime and then lose by double digits. I don't understand when that started happening, but it's this season specifically, it's happened to me multiple times. I don't know if that's just one of those glaring issues where it happens to me, so I'm hyper aware of it. But there have been many times where I was like, going into the third quarter, just watch the first couple minutes, make sure it's going well, and I'm like, oh, cool. I'll just check on that later. And then I check on it later, I'm like, I lost? That was like the one that I had in the bag. It just seems so odd.
You got to probably start middling those games, right?
Yeah.
Live betting them when you're up double digits and just betting the other side to either middle or hedge.
It happened, though.
I have a specific answer. It happened with the Mike D'Antoni Phoenix Suns, a 7 seconds or less team. That's when like they would go up by 20 points and give it back, and it became just like typical. And now, frankly, everyone essentially does the Mike D'Antoni Phoenix offense. So that's why like the most success, this has been a terrible NBA season for me, but the most success that I've had has been live betting teams down double digits, because it's like, just doesn't matter anymore. It fucking doesn't. Like, they're going to come back. They're going to make a run.
Yeah, I saw that every now and again you'd tweet out something like that, and I was telling you, like, I like your new strategy. Like, see how it's going, and see, watching like Wisconsin, Oregon. And it's like the score at the end of the first half was only a point, but Wisconsin also, like, their field goal percentage was way lower than it normally is. Like, it wasn't a standard game for them. So if you're paying attention to the stats while you're watching the game, like, okay, maybe the Orlando Magic aren't going to make a comeback here, but maybe the Golden State Warriors are. So you take that live bet on the Warriors because they do have the firepower to make that comeback.
Yeah, or if it's like the Wizards are up 15 in the first quarter, half
like,
against the Kings, like the Kings are gonna make a run, right? They have the offense to do it,
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, the NBA has just been a fucking nightmare. Sorry, I was just looking on the other screen.
No.
I figure I should address why.
No, that's okay.
It's a junkie.
It's a good transition into the next segment, which is, I call it the Hateful Eight. I just, other things that you hate. You got to decide what you hate more. So we'll start off with a softball. Dookie drawers or puke? Which do you hate more?
Like shitting my own pants or
Sure.
puking?
Take it wherever you want.
There's like a helplessness about, I guess there's helplessness with both, but I shit my pants recently and no one would have known if I didn't tell people on the internet and on my podcast, Mad Scientist Party Hour. And it's just, it's an embarrassment. I guess puking like a pussy when you're after drinking, that doesn't feel great either. But then, I mean, you can puke because of actual sickness or eat something bad. Shit in your pants, it's hard to come up with an excuse that doesn't make you look like an idiot, right?
A little bit. Yeah, I can see that being worse. I'll tell you, like, from my perspective, when it comes to like cleanup, I'd way rather clean up puke than dookie.
I don't clean up poop for the most part.
Yeah.
Like if I shit my pants, I pretty much light my pants and underwear on fire. Like it's the last time I'll ever see them.
You're like Ace Ventura after he realizes Finkel is Einhorn.
Yeah. I freak out. I just get rid of the evidence.
I love it. Okay, that was a good one. All right, BO or stinky breath?
I would prefer to have. Man, that's a tough one. Because like chicks just aren't cool with either. Like it is a coin flip. I feel like stinky breath is harder to deal with and to get rid of. Like BO, stinky breath is more of like a systemic issue, whereas like BO, it's like, dude, take a fucking shower. Like take a shower, you know.
I unfortunately have both. I don't get a decision here. I got like some halitosis going on, and I just stink. I'm just a stinky dude. Like I got to get like clinical deodorant.
I didn't ever pick up on this.
Well, trust me, I do everything I can. I got my clinical deodorant and all this other crap, but it's just it's like I don't get it from the pharmacy. They sell it at CVS. It's just like, hey, are you extra stinky? Get this extra not stinky Dove deodorant. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. Dude, I've worn women's deodorant before because it smelled better than me.
Speed Stick Plus?
Ew.
You use women's deodorant?
I have before.
My ex would use my deodorant.
See, that's weird. I don't know about going that way.
You're okay. So you're okay with buying women's deodorant, but not using your wife's deodorant?
No, I've never bought women's deodorant. I've used my wife's. I'm saying the smell.
So why is it weird the other way?
Because
it sounds sexist.
Because the smell of men's deodorant on a woman isn't that lovely. Like I don't want my chick smelling like Speed Stick Ultra or Degree Sport.
Well, it's for the pits, right? Like most girls like are gonna wear some sort of scent or some sort of like spray. So the predominant smell that they're walking around with isn't going to be the Speed Stick or I mean I use Old Spice, but whatever. See, you know, men's deodorant. They're not going to walk around with that like primary as their primary smell. That's my point. Whereas like I don't own cologne, or if I do, I never use it. Right, so I'm pretty much like just throw deodorant on. And that's what you get, and later in the day, it's more musty and not as fun. You know.
See, I wear cologne every single day. I wear like every time I put on deodorant, I put on cologne. Again, I'm a stinky dude. I got to do whatever I can to mask this. I'm like Pigpen and Peanuts. Just like I got a fog over me at all times.
So I'm a sweaty dude, but I'm not stinky. Like my ex would be like super, super like honest to me about shit and just keep it real with me. Mm-hmm. And she would just tell me, it's like, it's weird. You sweat, but you don't stink. Like, it's not a stinky thing. I'm like, she was the type of girl that would like, she would shoot me straight. And she would tell you, like, you need to fix this ASAP. So like, I guess I'll have to take her word for it, but I'm sweaty as fuck. It's gross.
Yeah,
That's stinky though.
I'm a pretty sweaty dude and I'm stinky, so I'm doubling down on grossness. All right, what do you hate more, Ja Rule or Nelly?
Ja Rule, absolutely. That's a fucking easy one.
Okay.
No, huge 50 Cent fan. 50 Cent was the man when I was in high school. Graduated in '04. Went to school in Jamaica, Queens, right? So, I mean, 50 Cent's prime was like my best years, or funnest years.
Yeah.
And then, his rise in fame obviously coincides with the end of Ja Rule's career, and he effectively ended Ja Rule's career. So I don't even hate on Ja Rule. That was an easy answer. I can't really even share. I just can't see.
Some of them are easy.
Nelly.
Some of them are that easy.
Like, what's the negative things you'd say about Nelly? Like, Nelly's fine.
He's a bitch.
Whatever.
He acts because he walked around like he act tough, and you wear a Band-Aid on your face. You're a moron. Like, I don't like either of them, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
But
there was
at least Ja Rule's in some Jay-Z songs. Nelly just fucking sucks.
If we're being honest, the year from 2000 to 2007 is probably the worst era of fashion ever. Like it's ugly. It's terrible.
I would say the early 80s and early 2000s are garbage fashion.
I'm struggling to envision what the early 80s look like. The early 2000s.
Everything was square and neon. Like hair, clothes, everything was boxy with big shoulders. Get me out of there.
Fair enough. I guess it looks better nowadays. It's more charming. Whereas when you go back and look at early 2000s, like, oh, gross. So what I'm getting at here is that, like, I'm willing to excuse some Nelly weird fashion choices. And I wish the black guy was here to speak on this, but black people in particular got a little weird with fashion in the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I wanted to be a black guy, so I got a little weird with them. I have a lot of throwback jerseys. I had a lot of button-ups with matching shoes, the sneakers, that kind of shit, right?
Yep.
I was this close to a do-rag, an orange one. You know what I mean?
That's next level. There. One of my best buds growing up, he went full-on W word, and that was his.
Can you not say it?
I don't know.
I want to say it.
I'm not going to, just out of respect for, everybody. You can. Everybody's free to say whatever they want. I'm just not going to.
Jesus, I feel like a pussy not saying it now.
The floor is open.
I will say that I was going to bring this up as a random brain question on my podcast, but we find content so easily. This is actually going pretty well. So shout out to you as the host, but I'll use it here. If I started referring to people like my friends, or not even friends, just people, as ninjas, is that a little too, like, am I flying too close to the sun?
It depends on how close you are with, or I would say that's not true. I would say if that is a part of your true persona, then yeah, people are just going to be like, that's just Geoff, man. But if it's
just make it work.
But if it's something that you're trying to force, everybody's going to see it and be like, fuck that guy.
Well, I am forcing it initially until I adopt it and make it my thing moving forward.
Sure.
I'm just saying, is it too close to the N word and it looks bad? Like, are people going to be mad? What if I was like,
I mean, people are going to be like,
why aren't these ninjas getting back on defense?
Yeah. The context is key.
All right. Fair enough.
Like, what's up, my ninjas? That's borderline.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm getting at.
Blaming black people for not doing something well and calling them a close name, that's pretty much the same thing.
What if I was referring to like Luke Kennard or like Zubac?
Oh, I don't know then. See that, and that's where it has to be just ingrained in you, is you just call everybody that.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, if you did that and it was a full commitment. Listen, one of my buddies used to tour with Ralphie May, and that dude loved the N-word. Said it all
Ralphie
the time.
May or your
yes,
buddy?
Ralphie May. Loved it. Said it all the time.
That's ambitious.
His company was NIC. And the two other words were in charge.
Oh,
That was his own
wow.
company. But that was just how he talked.
It was HNIC.
No, it was just NIC. Oh, yeah, HNIC. The head dude in charge.
Yeah. Ninja.
Yes, or neighbor. I throw out neighbor sometimes.
That's a lot.
But yeah, it's the same difference. Same difference.
I mean, Ninja, you're really playing with fire.
Okay, what's worse? Which one would be hated more? Saying Wiggers or Ninjas?
I think Ninjas. I think it'd
Me
be
too.
worse. Like if you're saying it to black people, if I was having a conversation with black people and I was referring to a white guy who acted black and I called him a wigger, it's like, this guy's a wigger. I think black people would be all right with that.
I think.
But if I said to a black guy, like if I was like, for whatever reason, this isn't the most graceful way of saying it, but I was like, hey, yo, my ninja.
Yeah.
He'd probably be like, Don't
what
do
are you
that.
doing? Yeah.
Don't
be like,
don't do
okay.
that.
Yeah, or it'd be like, okay, dude, and brush you off and be like, I don't like that dude. But yeah,
Right.
and I think the reason why is because when you say wigger, it's basically like you're saying you're less than. Like you're trying to impersonate somebody, so you are being an idiot. And so if you were to call, like, the biggest insult to a black dude would probably to be calling him a wigger, because it's like, oh, you're not black, you act like a white dude trying to be black. That's like the biggest insult you could give a black person, probably.
It's the Uncle Tom one.
Yeah.
That's one. Like I've been in a room when another black guy called a black guy Uncle Tom, and it was like, all right.
Yeah, you need
Yikes.
to find
Yikes.
a wall
Get
and
out
an
of here.
exit. Yeah, at that
Yeah.
point.
Yes, someone is going to get physically harmed here. That kind of things, those kind of things cannot be said. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I won't do ninjas. Probably. It's just, low, high risk, low reward. Like, what am I really
Exactly.
getting at?
Exactly. Yeah, I feel that. All right. What do you hate more? Waiting in line or waiting online?
I don't even acknowledge online. So I
Nice.
guess hating in line, or I hate waiting in line.
I hate
I'm not an
waiting
online guy.
I hate waiting online, like, because I was doing the Top Shot and NFL all day and all that kind of UFC strike and shit for a while, all those NFTs, and for all those things you have to get into a line to.
Oh, you mean like a digital waiting,
Yeah,
like when like a Coachella thing?
yeah, or a Ticketmaster thing or anything like that. I hate that.
Oh, that's an easy one then. Yeah, I hate waiting in line because you have to go somewhere to be in line.
See?
If I can have another tab open, it's like, all right, well, this is lame, but I'll just do something cooler on this other tab.
I get that, and I wish I had that, but my paranoia that everybody's trying to screw me, it's like, I feel like, wait, did my computer disconnect? Like, I'm worried that there's going to be a glitch in the system, whereas if I'm waiting in line, I can have my headphones in and not care and see what's happening. Whereas online, it's completely, completely ambiguous. Because I've even been in those NFT lines, whatever, and it's like, okay, we have 10,000 packs. You're number 9,000. And then I don't even get one. And I'm like, wait, what happened? Who got all the VIPs that you didn't say was happening?
Yeah, who jumped the line?
That's the kind of. Whereas if I'm waiting in line, I could be like, hey, man, get the fuck back in line.
Hey, you're waiting in line at the club. Hey, don't let those hot chicks in. Get them to the back of the line.
No, make them stand in line with us so we have something to look at. Come on.
Yeah.
Do you hate doctors or dentists more?
I think doctors.
Me too.
I mean, dentists is such it's a pain in the ass to go to one and do the whole dentist thing, but it's super necessary, inarguably necessary. For me, doctors, I don't know. I'm not going to go to a doctor unless I fucking really need to. Whereas dentists, you'll do a regular checkup type thing. Everyone inherently wants to go to the dentist here or there type thing. That's my logic. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I I agree. I like doctors don't ever seem to treat me the way I want to be treated. Like, hey, this, and I only go when it's like super necessary. Like, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have to be, and you're being pretty nonchalant about my care. I might as well not have come. That's the way I usually feel when I go to the doctor. The dentist, although they're kind of crooks, you know, they're like car salesmen, like, how much can we get out of this guy? If you find a good dentist and they do good work, it's kind of the price of doing business. You know what I mean?
Are we on video? Like, is this video going to the internet?
It will, unless you don't want it to.
I'm okay with it, but the sun's going down. I do not have my lighting, so it's gonna get a little weird here.
You're fine.
I'm gonna turn into the black guy.
Perfect. All right. Well, let me see. Last one. What do you hate more? Losing a bet or not winning one you wanted to make and didn't get it in time? And it ends up winning.
Yeah, the FOMO. That's the worst.
Yeah.
I lose bets all the time, right?
Yeah, because in one sense you would think that like losing the money is worse, but you're a gambler at heart. Like we know we're in a losing game. We're
right.
We're consciously making a decision that I might not have this. This might go away. But the one where you're like, I know this is going to hit, and then for whatever reason it doesn't get in time, or like you mistime it on your phone or something, you're like, oh, son of a bitch. That's money missed out on. And that's like, oh.
Well, yeah, or like
I would have been right.
I'm a high volume NBA gambler. So like I'll have like my two favorite bets, then I'll have a third that I don't make. And if the third hits, it's just like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. Because then if you end up canceling win one, lose one, and then that third one would have put you in the profit, but unfortunately you lose on the rake with the betting the other two, then it's like, damn it. I really needed that third one to make today a good day.
Right. I ended up losing with the juice. No, yeah, that's a good point.
Well, moving over to, we'll switch to sports for real. I've become the golf cooler lately. Basically,
what does that mean?
Like my horses, as soon as they're at the tip top, and I'll like tweet out like, okay, it's this guy's day, he's coming up for it. It's like instantly they start to suck. Like on day 4 of the tournament, I'm like, okay, this last week, Tommy Fleetwood, I picked him on Thursday. I doubled down on him on Friday. Tommy Fleetwood was at the top of the leaderboard come Saturday, once all said and done. He was one behind the lead. His nickname is Fairway Jesus, for crying out loud. And then on the last 4 holes, he didn't hit one fairway. Like he was hitting it past the cart path, into the rough behind the sand, just like, and still salvaging pars with one bogey. I'm like, you could have won this tournament if you just hit the fucking fairway. But earlier that morning, I was like, Fairway Jesus coming to take this tournament, Valspar. And then sure enough, he just starts shitting the bed as soon as I do that. Happened to me last week or 2 weeks ago with my golf bet. It was like looking good going into the final day. And then my guy cuts out. I'm just like, shit.
I don't know about being a cooler, but I've lost a lot in golf. I was up 30 units-ish through the Farmers Insurance. I had max home at the Farmers Insurance, and then I think I've lost every single tournament since, and now I'm down to like under 10 unit surplus, maybe under 5 actually. I gotta relook at the numbers. So
the Farmers was the last one I hit. Justin Rose, that was the last one I hit, and I was like,
he was Pebble Beach
or Pebble Beach. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The week after the Farmers, the Pebble Beach, because I hit. Who won the Farmers? Was that Scheffler?
That was my max home. I hit that one. I'm up 5 units and I've hit 4 outrights. So I'm really fucking tanking lately. It sucks, dude. It sucks. I'm giving it all back. I sucked in this part of the year last year, so hopefully I can break my losing streak, but it's not going much better on my end of things. I'll tell you that.
My favorite part of this Valspar was, did you see when Taylor Moore won, and he was just kind of out on the range, like waiting for the playoff.
Yeah.
So
because he posted the winning score and like just had to wait.
Had to wait to see if there's gonna be a playoff, and then nobody else was there. So they just kind of walk up, like his dad hugs him, is like, "You won, you won." He's like, "Oh, okay, cool." His fiance, like he gets to his fiance, the first words out of his mouth to his fiance, "Are you happy?" Like, he doesn't enjoy his win. He is so sucked into this hot golf chick, like a moto hoe from back in the day. She's just like, "Are you happy?" And then literally the follow-up interview, like after they like settle on the 18th green, get the cameras over to him like a few minutes later, he literally said, the first thing he said, they're like, "How are you feeling?" He's like, "I hope everyone around me is happy. And I'm really happy I won, and I'm, it just hasn't sunk in yet." Like, he is just so concerned about his girl leaving him. He just wants to make sure that this lady is happy at all times. I'm just like, this poor guy. Get away from her. Unless she's Paulina Gretzky, right. Don't worry about it, kid.
The golf guys get some hot chicks, though.
Yes, they do.
You're probably right, but there is a chance you're being a little pessimistic. Like, he's a rookie, so it could be in his head. It's like he could. This is going to sound corny, but he could have like a nice support system between his parents, and because like Q school, like being a professional golfer initially is a lot of investment. Like, you're putting up a fuck ton of money to even make it, right? So like maybe his parents or his girl helped him put out money. Maybe she got a sick OnlyFans and she's like fronting his Q school, and he's like, no, are you?
Right, does this make you happy?
Are you happy?
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, see, it was worth one of your OnlyFans checks. It was, wasn't it?
Hey, that's fair. The thing that got me that I didn't even realize before, I think is something I knew and then forgot. If amateurs place in a PGA tournament, they don't get paid, even if they qualify for getting paid.
What?
Yeah.
So every now and then, like the amateur U.S. Open winner will get to play the U.S. Open. Mm-hmm. So you're saying if they won the U.S. Open, they would not
as an amateur? Correct. Yeah. So I was pumped because there were a couple of amateurs that made the cut. And then, so I followed up. So I had him on my little follow screen on ESPN, whatever, leaderboard. And then I went to check the final results. There were 2 amateurs that placed in the money. But their spots, what they got paid, are blank. So then I go and look it up. I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, if they're not a professional, they can't get paid as one. So they just play in these tournaments just for the recognition and to move up the ranks.
I guess in that particular, like if you won the amateur U.S. Open, you're a fucking pro. Like, you're going pro and the money, you're going to make the money. But like just the logistics of that or the fact of that it's kind of ridiculous to kind of come to grips with. Like, wait, who won it? Like, who gets the fucking money?
I think they just pocket it. That's the thing that sucks. It's not like they redistribute and they're like, oh, no. Let's give 62nd place a little more money because we have it. No, they're just like, well, you didn't win.
It turns into the fucking Californian homeless fund.
It's it's the rake.
Guess where the money's not going? That's to the homeless.
Exactly. It goes to the same place.
Yeah, we're not gonna pay it. We're not gonna pay 2nd and 3rd place more money. I'll tell you that. We're fucking keeping it.
Oh God. And I'm not even gonna dive into this, but Rory McIlroy wants to take away the long distance balls just to even out the playing field because he's better at his short game. I think that's a bitch move. But
there's a lot of golf news that I'm not very up to date on. I know they were talking about the rollbacks, like pretty much like nerfing the balls. I didn't know that they were talking about souping them up. So I'm a little confused as to what you mean.
So right now they have the balls that have like the incredibly long distance, whatever. And basically Rory's like,
but everyone can use them, right?
Yeah. And he's saying,
right,
let's not let the pros use them. which gives him an advantage. Even though he's one of the longer drivers too, his short game is significantly better than all, like, 90% of the golfers on tour. And so if you take
also probably the best ball striker in the world.
Yeah, but if you take all the John Daly element out of these guys that are hitting the ball 330, and then you take away these big balls, now they hit it 280 and they have to bust out their 3-wood instead of their 7-iron. That's a big advantage for somebody who can hit their 3-wood better than irons. So,
sure.
It's just one of those things where it's like, okay, here, I see what you're doing, but
I've gotten really into golf in the recent year, and I honestly just get annoyed about all the changes, all the Live Tour stuff. Just like, I became a fan of golf, and I liked it. I liked how it was going, and now you guys are talking about changes that, frankly, I don't need to see. I don't care about. So
you came along at a weird time. There's been a lot changed in the last 2 years where it was pretty consistent for a really long time. Like the
for
biggest,
like 100 years.
The biggest thing that changed in my lifetime in golf was you could now leave the pin in when you putt. That was the biggest change, and that happened like 6 years ago, 5 years ago, and that was like, whoa. Yeah, it makes sense. You shouldn't have to pull it if you don't want to, but forever, once you were on the putting surface, that flag got pulled. And
you should too.
So
it's bullshit to bank it in. Come on.
So now they leave it in. Whatever. That was the biggest rule change. Now they're changing everything. And it's kind of hard to keep track of when golf was a very simple game.
Maybe they're addicted to the changes.
They're just trying to, It's one of those things. Like, you remember WWE or WWF and WCW? It's like when they had the rivalry, all of a sudden shit started changing. And it was like everybody had to one-up each other. So this LIV PGA bullshit, like everybody's tweaking everything to make it the best product now. And it's like, it was fine. Just pay people more.
That's what I gather is the inspiration for the changes, is the PGA Tour players want more money because they are loyal to the PGA Tour and they saw that the Live Tour is paying out of their ass. But the changes that are happening aren't really, they're not helping fans. Like, they're not considering fans. It's just considering players. So that's what's lame about the whole thing. Ultimately, I think. But again, I kind of like am burying my head into like the fucking stats, and that's like all that I care about. And I maybe should be reading more like PGA Tour current affairs.
I don't think so. Honestly, the only reason why this ball thing came up on my feed was because it was a main headline on like the ESPN feed, and I was like, oh, okay, what's this? Oh, that's weird. But I did want to offer up a few minutes for you to gloat, to enjoy however you wanted to. The big signing as a St. John alum of Rick Pitino. Pitino the Powerful is now your head basketball coach.
Yeah, I wrote about it on Outkick. I'm excited. I spent $100,000 plus on that school. I don't give a fuck about his previous recruiting violations. I said this, I think, in the article, like, they can use some of my money if they want to pay for sex parties to lure recruits. Like, I don't give a fuck about the guys. A few of the things that people will say to disparage the hire or just negative about Pitino, one would be his previous recruiting violations, which frankly don't even exist anymore because of the new nil thing, right? So like his 2017 recruiting violations is 223 nil. Like it's cool now, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing would be his age. And it's like, he's 70 years old. It's like the fucking president is 80. Like, this guy can run a basketball team.
Yeah, Patino's got at least a decade.
Yeah, like, I'm more nervous about a coach's age in football because there's a ton of moving pieces, and supposedly, like, football coaching is it's insane. Like, all this
game is so much faster too to keep track while it's going. Like, basketball's quick, but there's transitions and there's like, okay, gather. Somebody can have the ball and the coach is on the sideline like yelling out hey, get over here, get over here. And football, it's planning while you're watching and then doing it all over again instantaneously. That's, I don't know how some people do it.
Like football is like next level strategy. And like I grew up playing basketball, I love basketball, but it's fucking simple. Like you move without the ball. When you get a pass, when someone passes you, either if you're open, you shoot. If not, you pass and you move. It's that simple. And like coaching it, especially in the college level, it's just like you recruit the best players, you put them out there on the fucking court. That's it. Like that's your main thing, right? Like
there's a reason why all the schools go for the same players.
Right. Like football, it's like there's a whole strategic element where like just certain programs could make up for lack of talent. Like you almost can't do that in basketball.
Yeah.
Like you can do like continuity and experience, especially on the college level. That goes a long way. Yeah, that'll make up some talent deficiencies, but like ultimately
it goes away as soon as you get to the professional level.
Right. When you look at the NBA finals, the NBA champions, it's like usually it's the best player in the world or one of the best players in the world that won the title.
With a supporting cast who does their job really well.
Yeah. But like you look at last year, like Steph Curry won the Warriors won the championship. Steph Curry was fucking awesome. He's one of the greatest point guards ever. And that's just how it works. Mm-hmm. Just pretty much that simple. So
yeah, I agree.
But back to Pitino, like I think it's a fucking slam dunk. Me and you went back and forth about it on Twitter and DMs as well. You know, we're not the biggest program. There's definitely bigger ones, but like ultimately between the guy's age, between the fact that he can coach in the Garden, in the Big East, and it would be a nice feather in the cap or trophy to put on the mantle of like Pitino being I think the only guy to ever win three championships with three different schools. If you were to do that with St. John's, I think that's enough to kind of keep him in place. And I also don't kind of push back on something you said that the audience obviously isn't aware of. Is like you were saying that he could split for a bigger job. I just think like there is a handful of schools that are bigger than St. John's, granted, Kentucky, Kansas, UNC, Duke, UCLA. Outside of that, it's like I don't know how much bigger, like UConn and Villanova. Like, is Villanova really that much bigger? I wouldn't say
Villanova's bigger than St. John's, but
you said Syracuse. Like this is something that I'm familiar with because I'm from upstate New York.
And I'm
Syracuse is a fucking shithole. It's
I'm taking your word for that.
Like, if the two options are living in New York City or living in Syracuse, like, fucking forget it. Like, you're gonna take New York City every time. And like, I think like the Syracuse program, it's Jim Boeheim. He worked there for 47 years. Like, I don't think they're gonna be good very long.
Well, and that was my only kind of point with the Pitino thing is I think he's either gonna be able to bring up St. John's to, like, if he gets St. John's to the Elite Eight within the first 2 years, he may ride it out because he's like, okay, now people are coming. But if he can win at St. John's, I think he stays at St. John's. But he's got to win a title within the first 4 years for him to stay.
Final four. What if he makes a Final Four?
Then I think if he makes a Final Four, that's even worse. Because then if those only because here's the caveat to all this. One of those like 5 big schools who are kind of coming off of these legendary coaches and are in transition years, if the transition doesn't go well, that might be an opportunity for Rick Pitino to put his balls on the desk and be like, you remember how this was Boeheim's team? And then he couldn't win towards the end, and I came here and I won. That's like a big dick move to the other coaches. And I think that Rick Pitino is the guy that wants to have the biggest dick in the room. So if it were, I think
he can do that coaching in New York City in the Garden, taking a a team that's never won a title, but has always been like a pretty well-known name to that next step. Like the bigger programs that you're talking, like Kansas. Until Bill Self leaves, the Kansas job isn't open, right? UNC and Duke, that's fair.
So UNC and Duke were the ones that I was thinking of more. UNC, but
you look at their coaches; they're both like Duke's coach is a former Duke player. UNC's coach a former UNC player
who were groomed to take over. Also, who were groomed to take over, but like Kansas and Kentucky.
He goes back to Kentucky?
No, I'm saying those schools are off the table because they still have legendary coaches there. They're not in transition years. I'm saying if these transitions from, Roy Williams and Coach K don't go well, those particular spots in 3 years, if the jobs are like maybe available to somebody like Calipari or a Pitino who like maybe want to make a move. I don't know that Calipari would, but somebody of that caliber, I think that would be the only time that he would leave. And the window for that to happen would be within the next 3 years. That's all.
I'll agree with you in the sense that if UNC or Duke opens up, we'll just keep it that simple. If UNC and Duke opens up, anyone's going to be interested. Fair enough. I can't. Okay. But I'm willing to gamble that, like, I think John Shire, the Duke guy, is fucking good. I think Hubert Davis I think it's still to be determined. Like that championship run that he went on last year it's with someone else's players. It doesn't really matter that much. Like
next year's going to be the big thing because Bacot's coming back for his 5th year. So he's got his big, like, if you don't do better next year than you did this year, people are going to start getting sketched out.
But I do think those programs, they want these guys to succeed. I think they're going to get 3, 4, 5 years before. And then it's like,
which lands right in that pocket.
If Pitino doesn't get it done in 5 years, I'm like, all right, you can go, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, thanks.
Like you tried, the athletes just don't want to come here. Okay.
Yeah. Like if Pitino doesn't make it work, then we're probably fucked.
For a while, You could be like me and rooting for Notre Dame. Like, if we make the Elite Eight, that's a fucking win for the season.
You guys just poached Penn State school coach.
Yeah, Micah Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great hire. I mean, I love Mike Bray. He did everything he could with the program, and let's give it to somebody else who seems to be hot. Let's do that.
Yeah.
One of the better offensive-minded coaches out there right now, so I'll take it.
Okay, dude.
We can skip talking about the tourney because everything's been kind of butt fucked. Let me ask you this: who do you have as of now in the championship game, and who do you have winning for March Madness?
I have Alabama beating Texas.
Okay.
Alabama's got the best shot profile. They got the best player in the country. They have great size. I mean, they're deep. I'm a lot less convinced in Texas. Really, it's more like I think Texas can lose this week to Xavier. I'm taking the points to Xavier. I think Gonzaga could make it through the West. I think UCLA can make it through the West. I am just really convinced. It's chalky, but I'm really convinced Alabama wins the national championship. Who else is there is kind of whatever.
Yeah, I have the same two that I picked from the beginning. I haven't changed them. I have Tennessee and Houston, with Houston winning.
Yeah, could happen. I mean,
but I have Tennessee beating Alabama, and I have Houston beating UCLA. So we'll see. But that was a revised bracket.
Coming into the season, UCLA was my favorite team, but their injuries just kind of crossed them off the list for me. So.
All right. Well, we kind of touched on it in the very beginning, but we'll go into more current stuff.
Getting dark.
What are you watching these days? Oh, look at that. That's just a bright little ray of sunshine there. What are you watching these days?
We call it a lamp, but fair enough.
Oh, it lit your face up like Mr. Golden Sun. So.
What am I watching? I only watch sports for the most part. Shitty answer. Can't wait for Succession to come on. Last of Us.
Oh, yeah. That's coming up like this weekend, right? Or next weekend?
Yeah. This weekend, yeah.
Yeah. I love Succession. I also love Billions.
Succession. I've watched every. I don't fuck with Showtime, but everyone says Billions is awesome. I gotta check it out. But I've watched every episode of Succession like the day it came out. Now no one does live TV, but I think the first season of Succession it was on like live TV, and I watched it, and now it's just like I just wait for it to stream.
Yeah, Succession
Sunday night.
was like the Sunday night programming there for a little bit.
Yeah,
And then now it's The Last of Us, which is amazing.
but currently, I love South Park. I watched a new season of South Park.
Did you catch the Pornhub documentary on Netflix?
No, I've gotten a bunch of people in my DM saying it fucking sucked and
I
don't
bet
even
it
waste your
does.
time.
Yeah. I would rather go on Pornhub for an hour and a half than watch a documentary about Pornhub. That's stupid.
Done and done. Yeah, I'll be on Pornhub later tonight for an hour and a half.
There you go. Melon's Tube is a good one too.
I have to check that out. No, I've had a bunch of people say it was like suck.
Were you a Ted Lasso guy at all?
I watched the first season. I couldn't keep it going.
Fair enough.
But I like Apple Plus. I have nothing bad to say about it.
Apple Plus, outside of The Last of Us, they have my favorite show on TV right now, which is Shrinking. It is so good. It's with Jason Segel and Harrison Ford.
Okay.
It's really, really
two different Shrink shows, right? One with Will Ferrell and one with Paul Rudd, and then this one with Jason Segel and Harrison Ford, right?
Yeah, the Will Ferrell, Paul Rudd one, I kind of started to watch, and I was like, oh, this is very, like, dark and intimate, dark humor comedy. The Shrinking one is just, like, in your face. Yeah. Like, Jason Segel is a therapist who's super fucked up in his own life, and, like, just trying to navigate that, and it's pretty hilarious.
What's the tone? It's comedy, okay.
Yeah, it's a comedy. It's not a dark comedy, even though there's dark subjects. Like, I'm not giving anything away. That Jason Segel's wife died like a year ago, and you find that out in the very first episode. That's why he's a mess. So it's like him trying to get his life back from doing drugs and drinking and whatever, and he's still got like a teenage daughter, and he still works actively at his practice, but he's just trying to navigate it. It's got Forgetting Sarah Marshall vibes of that kind of humor, just different subject matter. So that one's pretty solid.
I'll check it out. I mean, I have Apple Plus, so maybe I'll check it out. I'm not gonna commit myself. And then
it's a half-hour show.
Into a liar.
It's a half-hour show, which is why it's such an easy banger. It's just like, oh, I have an entire week to watch a half hour. Sure, I'll throw this on whenever I'm just casually on the couch.
Does it come out weekly, or is it
comes out weekly?
They shoot their load all over your face in the first go.
No, this one, they didn't even do, like, normally Apple TV will give you a block of like 3 to get you sucked in. This one, they're just like, you get one at a time. And it was good enough to get me back each time.
Also, Barry, final season of Barry comes out, I think, in a couple weeks. So
nice.
All my TV watching is on the horizon. And right now, it's just like NBA, college basketball, and golf. That's really all that I'm focused on. Yeah, and then I'll probably baseball when it comes back.
Yeah, and baseball and NFL Combine come back around the same time, or NFL Draft. I mean, that'll be
a nice little weekend. But
that'll be a nice weekend. I started watching Daisy Jones and the Six on Amazon Prime, which I threw it on as like it's a new series, and I just threw it on to like fall asleep to. Yeah. But I happen to love like classic rock. And I think like the way Almost Famous, have you ever seen Almost Famous?
Of course.
So that was supposedly loosely based on Cameron Crowe's involvement following Led Zeppelin. So he wrote a movie about following Led Zeppelin. This gave me vibes of Fleetwood Mac, how Fleetwood Mac got put together. So I love Fleetwood Mac. It's got me really interested. It's not for everybody. It's pretty slow moving. But considering I'm like a classic rock fan, and especially Fleetwood Mac, like I'm giving it a chance. I'm through 3 episodes and it hasn't deterred me. Like it keeps getting better, even though it's kind of a slow roller. So I'm kind of waiting that out to see how that goes. But I started watching something fucking awesome on Netflix. It's Agent Elvis. Have you seen this pop up at all? Dude. It is so good. Matthew McConaughey it's an anime type deal. It's not anime. It's cartoon
animation.
Yeah, but it's not like Dragon Ball Z. It's more like a cartoonish type deal. But Matthew McConaughey plays Elvis. Caitlin Olsen plays like his chick sidekick. Johnny Knoxville plays his other sidekick. And Don Cheadle is like the villain. And basically it's just a cartoon that is all about like all the wild stories about Elvis. They make it fun, but he's also like this vigilante justice ass kicker that has a coke fiend monkey that is his like orangutan in every which way but loose. Like it's the most wild, gory, foul show surrounded by Elvis, and it's like 20 minutes. It's hilarious. It's
Asian Elvis. Okay.
Not Asian, agent.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Asian. I was like, no, that's a completely different thing.
No, I said it right. Asian. Well, I thought maybe I didn't, but Asian Elvis. In my head, I was saying, all right. And
Yeah.
it's voiced by McConaughey.
Yeah, McConaughey is the voice of Elvis, which makes sense. And Johnny Knoxville is like his shit kicker Memphis hillbilly buddy. And then, like I said, he has a monkey, which he had in real life, but in the show, the monkey loves getting coked up prostitutes and like exploding people's heads by jumping on them and stuff. It's just wild and hilarious. No good reason for anything. Like he takes target practice in his backyard by shooting TVs. Like they just make fun of all the sad stories and make them fun in a cartoon. I dig it.
I'll give it a shot, perhaps, maybe.
Yeah, that's one of those like if you're feeling goofy and it pops across the screen, it's perfect.
I smoke a lot of pot, so I'll probably be feeling goofy later.
Yeah, that is the perfect time to watch it because it's just so incredibly ridiculous, and then it's over in 20 minutes, and you're like, okay, that was kind of fun. All right, well, I appreciate you being on here. Each week we kind of do a top 5, and since St. Paddy's Day is one of my favorite days, I figured we'd talk about maybe your top 5 favorite days of the year.
Well, you were part of one of them, Super Bowl.
Super Bowl Sunday is one of my favorite days too.
Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Christmas. This is easy.
So they're all holidays?
St. Paddy's Day. Or no, not St. Paddy's Day. Independence Day.
What about your birthday?
Nah, my birthday's usually whack.
Yeah, I agree.
I really like the opening weekend of college basketball, like that, or not, the March Madness. Like, yeah. I think that's cool. Super Bowl is definitely one. Christmas, Thanksgiving, those are easy ones. I'm trying to think of like another day. Because I'm super into golf. I'm that Thursday the Masters is gonna be fucking as cool usually. I don't know. What do you got?
St. Patrick's Day is one of them. Super Bowl Sunday is one of them. When it's like the really sunny and bright the day after like a big rain, that's one of my favorite days. Like when those just come out of nowhere.
I'm really, the older I get, the more I'm into daylight savings and the daylight days because everyone gets pissed off by them and I just think it's hilarious. We need to get rid of it. And they fucking complain I think there's bills being written in Congress to get rid of it. And it's like, you bitches, just roll. It's something different. You get an hour, you lose an hour. Who knows when? I don't know when that fucking happens. Someone just texts me and tells me.
Yeah, I just wake up and my cable box is different. I don't know. My phone adjusts automatically. It's just 6 a.m. now. I don't fucking know.
And I get something. I get off a little bit, and everyone getting angry.
See, I get that. I 100% get that. I also think it's good to switch it up. And if that might be the one good thing the government's done federally in a long time, is just like, hey, every half a year, let's give you a different perspective on the world. I'm cool just for an hour. It's fine.
Yeah. Throw you a curveball in the middle of the night, fucking twice a year. Get over it.
It's like, hey, during the summertime, you could feel like you actually have longer days and you could get more done at the end of the day. That's great. Hey, in the wintertime, get your ass up. It's cold outside. Go.
And I think the people that are anti-daylight savings or whatever the other one is, they think they're on like some like trend setting or like some new like take. And it's just like, no, you're actually a follower. Most people agree with you. Most people want to get rid of it, and they don't even really know why. Like they just feel like bitching about it that day. It's like
100%.
It's like water cooler talk for people who can't make conversations regularly. Like, oh man, daylight savings is annoying. Yeah, why do they even do it anymore? This is fucking interesting. I don't know. I just like the curveball, and I like how it pisses people off.
Me too. Anything that has little to no significance that people get fired up about, I love stoking that fire. I'm like, you guys are fucking morons. Go bang your head against the wall. Good for you. It makes me happy.
Dude. An extra hour of sleep or losing an hour, I don't give a fuck. I don't care either way. Like, whatever.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I'll say my last favorite day of the year. It's recent. It's Memorial Day. Just because in May I do this weird fitness thing to where it's called 30 Days of Pain that I just started doing a couple of years ago. And it's workout every single day and all, diet and all this kind of bullshit, whatever. The whole point is in May, there's 31 days and day 31 is a holiday. So you work your ass off for 30 days and then Memorial Day is fucking party central. Go balls to the wall, be bananas. Like last year to celebrate, like I took the family to go drive to Pasadena, get a pastrami sandwich from my favorite pastrami spot, and then go to the racetrack and watch the horses. And we went to Dave & Buster's too. It was just like, let's go fuck today. It was great.
Santa Anita?
Santa Anita, yeah.
I gotta go there for the races. I only been there for the 66 night market, the fucking food festival.
Oh, dude. I've been to Del Mar quite a few times, but I've never seen races there. I set up a lot of trade shows and stuff when I was doing appliances, but Santa Anita is, top 10 racetracks in the country.
Yeah, I'm spoiled on that shit though. I'm from Saratoga, and
well, yeah.
Yeah, we probably have the best. Well, honestly, it's fucking sick.
On the West Coast, Del Mar and Santa Anita are amazing. Everything else is east.
Yeah. Del Mar is supposed to be great. I can imagine the chicks there are just insane in Del Mar. The chicks in Saratoga are insane. I'm sure Santa Anita the same thing, but racetrack's fun. That's a hell of a Memorial Day that you had set up.
Yeah, I might even do the same thing this year. Go to the track if the horses are running, just reserve a little box.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I was gonna do it last year, but it kind of didn't come together. I was trying to do it too quick. So now that I know how to do it and I already have all the contacts over there, I might end up swinging that.
Set up a little roadmap, a little action plan for this.
Yeah, and that that way, because I had some people that were kind of in and out of it, and hey, thanks for getting me to get off my ass and this and that. So anybody that wanted to come celebrate can come celebrate. So I think I might look into that a little bit more.
You have an open door policy for Memorial Day as well.
So for whatever I'm doing, yeah, but it's not my home. Memorial Day is not my home. Memorial Day is we get out there and we go fuck the world however we feel like it. You booze it up, get high as you can, eat everything you want to in sight, get sick, get better.
And dedicated to our fallen soldiers.
Yes. And that's why.
Yes.
That's why
we don't ever lose sight of that.
We don't.
The good old US of A.
But that's not why it's my favorite day, is because we're remembering that people died. But it is something it is something that obviously we do.
Great barbecue day. Great barbecue day.
It is a great barbecue day. Honorable mentions are the first day of summer, opening day for baseball, and Flag Day, because that's the best joke of Reno 911 Miami.
All right. I get pretty. Last one. Opening kickoff night in the NFL, that opening Thursday, I go to Vegas every year for my birthday, September 3rd. So as a birthday present, my brothers will get a hotel room in Vegas, and we'll go. I'll place my season-long NFL bet to enter the contest, and we'll go party in Vegas for the night. Usually just return back the next Friday. So
That's rad.
a 4 or 5 year tradition going. That's turned into like one of my favorite days of the year. You should go next year.
This year. 6 months minus. Yeah, I used to go up to Vegas for divisional NFL playoffs, and that was like the 4-day trip, like go there and
man, this is good. All right, so you reminded me of another day I love. Okay. The NFL wild card Saturday. Every year I go to the Vietnamese coffee shop. I think you might have been there this year. Maybe not.
No, I didn't go for that. We hung out for something else. Vietnamese
coffee shop. Not gonna start that conversation. That's a whole nother podcast. Just Google it. It's pretty sweet.
All right. Well, on that note, they're not going to find you at the Vietnamese coffee shop, but tell everybody where they can find you on social media. Plug your podcasts, plug your butt, do whatever you want to do. Now's your time.
Yeah, I'm at Geoffrey_Clark. It's GEOFFERY_Clark on Twitter, at Geoffrey Records on Instagram. Do 2 podcasts. Most famously, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it, it's the Mad Scientist Party Hour. Do it with my 2 buddies, Shuddy Boy and Kevin Kraft. That's a lot of fun. So just Google Mad Scientist Party Hour. The
search results will come up. Look it up either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast and subscribe to it. Click the subscribe button. It's easier to do that and delete them than to not subscribe in the first place because you'll forget. So do that.
Yeah, and do the same with Outkick Bets with Geoff Clark.
Definitely do that. Maybe read his captions on Twitter before so you know how he's doing. But definitely, dude, his golf stats and picks. I mean, I know that you haven't been doing well overall with like your top 5, 10, 20 finishes when you pick your like 4 or 5 horsemen. But you have legitimately always had within those a front runner in the tournament. So if you at least just take Jeff's picks in golf as a baseline, you are 90% ahead of the curve. I'm telling you that right now. Usually what I'll do is if I have like a basketball bet I like or a golf bet I like, and then you put out there that you're on it too, I'm like, we got this. We are in. I'm locking this in right now. So dude. It's definitely Outkick Bets with Geoff Clark. Subscribe wherever you can. Mad Scientist Party Hour, wherever you podcast on YouTube. Also, Patreon. They have a couple different tiers. 5 and 10?
5 and 10, yeah. 5, you get the main or the weekly extra show, and then $10 we do this Dragon Ball Queef anime watch along show or anime show. We do a Deal or No Deal watch along show, and there's videos for our Patreon episode and like my snack review stuff. There's a lot of content on there, so yeah, be sure to just check it out if you guys have some time to kill. And some
Speaking of your snacks, I had something that I skipped over, but I'm going to ask you: how do you eat a cupcake?
South Park style, shove it in my ass. No, I don't know. I unpeel the whole wrapper, and I don't eat like the frosting first or anything like that. I think I eat it normal. I don't know. You're throwing me off. How do you eat a cupcake?
Well, because like
do you eat it rectally?
No, it usually I got made fun of. I was at a kid's birthday party, and my son started eating a cupcake, and it was pointed out like, oh, he eats them just like you, where we just take a whole bite, and you get a little frosting nose or whatever, but you get all the layers in the same thing.
Yeah.
That's how I normally do it, but I have been recently under fire for my cupcake intake, and I just house it. I'm like, I know how to get all of it at once. Just
you eat one bite?
Yeah. So I've been told not to do that anymore.
Yeah.
It sounds like even the Snack Attack master is telling me not to do that anymore.
Well, I mean,
Cupcakes are small. I got a big mouth.
Okay, I don't know. I'd want to savor the experience a little bit more. And then I've seen there are some big cupcakes that I couldn't just fit in my mouth in one bite.
See, now if they're the size of a muffin, yeah, that doesn't make sense. But I'm just like a child's cupcake. It's like if I take 2 bites, the second bite is like a third of the cupcake, so it's not really worth it.
All right.
So I just started housing cupcakes.
I think we covered just about every topic in this podcast.
We did. That's usually what we like to do, is just spread it around and see what sticks. Throw spaghetti at a fan and see if it hits the wall.
This is wonderful. I like this.
Dude,
I'm happy that I could be the black guy for the second time ever.
Dude, it was so much fun. Thank you very much for coming on. Be sure to follow us at Black Irish Pod. Follow me at Brendan McCorkle Comedy. Follow Mike at Black Irish 213 on Instagram. Do a click, something. I don't know. I don't care. Just tell somebody if you want to. It's fun. I always like seeing, like, I don't usually go into the analytics, but I say this every now and again. It's fucking hilarious and fun when it's like, oh, we got people in Israel listening. Like, why? That's pretty fun. And usually it's just because different people are liking or subscribing or sharing, and it spreads the word. That's all we're asking over here. Geoff, I can't thank you enough, dude. It's so much fun hanging out with you. It's so much fun doing a pod with you. Appreciate it. We'll hook up soon. And on that note, we're out of here. Peace out, brother.